Well, hi, good morning. Thanks for joining me for a video. I'm just going to be showing you my completed washroom, but I thought I'd start in here with a shot outside in my backyard. A little bit of snow has come down, so I'm shooting this out the window of my my laundry room here, which is almost finished. But I'm not going to spend too much time showing you this. Let's go through here. There's my shop. Getting ready to do something in there. Let's go over this way. And here we are. My finished washer. The grand opening. Here it is. Okay, let's go in. Now I'm going to show you this in a little bit of detail. I'm going to take a little bit of time going around, but I'll give you sort of an overall look quick. It's a small room. I can't get too wide of a shot here. But here we are. Hey, those speakers proved to be super handy, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But let's start with the lighting in here. So I have a couple of central lights in the ceiling, and they're controlled by this switch here. So I can make them brighter, make them duller, turn them off, of course. Then I have a light up over top of the shower. Wow, that's a great light. I've had a couple showers in there already. And that's how this is controlled here. And you can see it go brighter and duller, on and off. I'll talk something about this floor heating control in a moment. And over here I have a couple switches. One is to turn on the exhaust fan, and the other one turns on the lights over top of the sink here. There's the lights. These are all LED lights. Hey, there I am. How do you like that? Okay, some of this stuff I'm going to explain why I've got a flashlight and a mirror on top of here. There's a reason. Okay, now, so hey, how about a toilet? Brand new toilet. Has one of these dual flush things for the small and the big flush. There we go. I don't have towel racks up in that. My wife and I are gonna use this washroom for a little while before we decide what we want to do with towel racks. So let's take a look in the shower here. We'll start at the floor. So I have a central drain with the floor sloping down to the drain, the small tiles. These are flat finish tiles. They're not glossy in any way because they're going to stand on them. I don't want to fall. Okay, the wall tile is glossy, of course. You can see the reflections in it. So here we have a shelf. We have another shelf over here put in. And down here's a bench to sit on. You know, when you're taking a 4-hour shower, you're going to want to sit down at some point. So, okay, a little squeegee there for squeegeeing off the water. So, you have 2 shower units. I had this big monster unit here. Holy smokes, with a rain head, hand shower thing, and these body spray nozzles. And right at the bottom is just basically a tap the water comes out of. You know, when you first turn it on, you don't want the cold water charge coming at you. So you drain it out just like you would in any shower. It comes out of that spot down there. I can get right in here now. It's dry. Hey, look at that. It looks like a mirror finish. Hey, there I am. Holy smokes. Maybe I shouldn't be in here. So the cool thing that I want to show you. Isn't that kind of weird? Let me just change my angle here so you don't see me so much. Okay, so you see this thing here. Now, I can't turn this on without turning on the water and getting wet. If I turn this on, the temperature comes up here. And the reason it comes up when you turn it on is, believe it or not, there's a small turbine built into the plumbing of this thing. The turbine generates a little bit of electricity and runs this, and it really works. And this turns out to be a fantastic feature. Knowing the temperature of the water by reading a number is fantastic. You know, when you've got the water coming out of this thing or out of this thing, I've discovered I run it around 38 degrees on here. But if you want this misty spray, which is wonderful, this mist that comes out of these things, you've got to crank this up so it says 45 degrees on it, which would burn you normally, but because it's a mist, it doesn't. But with this control, well, with this dial, this whole thing's fantastic. And I'm going to shock you when I tell you what I paid for this guy here. So here's the water control, temperature, pressure, and this is the selector for selecting which nozzle you want the water to come out of. water started dripping out a little bit. So that's that. Yeah, the shocking thing is this is about the cheapest piece in the entire washroom here, believe it or not. You can pay $1,000 for something like this. I ordered this and had it delivered to my home, $375, which is just a shocking price, and it's wonderful so far anyway. If I have another one installed here, you know, my wife and I thought we're gonna do this once and we're gonna live here for 20 more years, hopefully. And why not go all the way here? You know, putting it in as part of the original construction is not that expensive. Although, believe it or not, this handheld wand here, see, which is close to the bench, this costs more than that thing. Isn't that a shocker? Now we put in one with a strong rod here. This rod's pretty strong. It's not really a handrail, but it'll sustain the force. When we designed the walls, the contractor put extra 2x4s in behind here. He also did the same thing behind here to catch the brackets. So this stuff is bolted right into, or screwed into 2x4s behind the wall. So it's really pretty strong. So of course the bench and these things are all tilted to drain slightly. And they work, I checked them. So fantastic. So you see the kind of trim that's around here. Corner trim, I'm not sure what you really call it. It's used all over the shower here for corners. It's a fantastic result. It just looks great. So one thing I did pay a lot of money for is these doors. Let me come back a little bit and take a look at them. So these are really heavy glass doors. It's just wonderful. Got some rubber seals here to try to keep the water from sneaking past the doors. That's what this water stop here is for. There we are. So we have a very low step over. If you know any old people, you know, stepping over top of a tub becomes a danger, and stepping into a curved tub floor is dangerous. They're really quite dangerous. That's one of the reasons we were anxious to get this shower in here, because all we have otherwise in the house, we have another washroom upstairs. It just has a tub shower, poorly lit too. Well, in this case, we got the light in there. It's fantastic. I'm so excited about how this whole thing has come out. So here's our cabinet here. We have a stone top on it. I think it's stone. I actually don't know what the material is, but here's our tab. Just the usual kind. And we have light switches here. Or this is the fan. Turns on and off the fan, which I have blocked at the moment. The exhaust fan is up here. We put it in very close to the wall, as close as we could get it to the exterior of the house. So the exhaust vent wasn't that long. I have it blocked right now because it's winter. We don't really need to exhaust anything. In fact, we want to keep the humidity in the house after a shower. This thing dries right out like crazy because my humidity is down around 30%, which is quite dry. So I blocked that for the winter. But in the summer, we'll open that up, and that'll catch all the steam coming up out of here. When you use those mister things, wow, it produces a huge amount of not so much steam, but water mist. Goes all over the place, so that'll be great in the summer. There's the hot air vent. I'm going to tell a story about that in a moment. Well, maybe I'm going to tell that story right now. And up there are the speakers that I put in. It might seem a little crazy, but it's not. Now, I can't play them right now while I'm doing this video because I'll get a copyright hit, which copyright hits and other YouTube problems are driving me nuts. In fact, I'm very close to just stopping the YouTube video thing because there's just no reason for me to do it. And I won't go into that problem. Maybe on the next video I'll explain what I mean by that. But if you're a YouTube video maker, you probably know what I'm talking about. So many of my videos are not earning money. And not that I earn much money, by the way. YouTube videos did not pay for this bathroom. It's financed totally differently. Just so you know, my income from YouTube videos is not quite enough to pay my electric bill each month. So, a little over $100, that's it. So, I don't make videos to make money, that's for sure. So what happened here is I got this whole thing finished, and yesterday I was in here, I put my hand up by the air vent, there's no air coming out of it. Well, that's kind of weird, it's wide open. Why no air? To my horror, I grabbed this mirror and a flashlight, and they took off the grate. I looked down the pipe, which runs over that way, and for crying out loud, the damper is closed. So the vent is closed. You know that kind of lever type control that you have on your vent, usually close to the plenum, which is inside this area here. The furnace plenum is inside behind these speakers. I panicked. Oh my God, we've put everything in, we've done the ceiling, it's all sealed up, I can't get at it anymore, and it's closed. I was kicking myself in the ass like crazy. Why didn't I check that when the ceiling was down? The thought crossed my mind, but I was sure it was open. Oh my gosh. So I took that vent cover off, and the first thing I tried was poking it open by reaching in with something. I had this old CV antenna, which is pretty stiff, of course. I basically jammed it up, ran it down, and tried to knock open the vent. That was hopeless. So, trying my best not to panic that we don't have heat in our brand new bathroom, I just let it go on the principle of give it some time and a good idea will come. So this morning I came down here and had a shower. Didn't need to, just wanted to for fun's sake. Had a shower. Standing here drying myself, looking up at the speakers. And it suddenly dawned on me that if I take a speaker out, that behind it is of course a hole in the drywall. It's a porthole right to where the hot air vent control is. So I took this speaker out. Sure enough, I just reached right in and grabbed, whoosh, turned it open, and now I can feel the air coming out of this right now, blowing on me. Oh, wow, was that close? I don't know what I would have done. I hadn't thought of that. So, the principle here is you got to give time for the good ideas to come. And try to stay relaxed while you wait for them to show up. So there we are. Well, this is a cover over the sewer pipe access point for clearing out your sewer pipe if you're having trouble, with the main pipe under your house. So just covered it with a plastic cap. I have to paint that, the color of the wall, to make it kind of disappear. And then also the trim here, we decided to put the floor tile, like bring it up here, and then it's capped with this stainless steel again. And we put in this cabinet here. It's a built-in cabinet. Nothing in it yet, but of course we'll be storing towels and stuff like that in there. So last thing, the heating system on the floor. Underneath the whole floor, all the way up to about where I'm standing here, it ends about here, is heating. And this is the control for it. Now, some of you, of course, have this in your home, so you know what this is all about. But if you don't know, just take a moment and explain this, because it's pretty darn cool. So right now, the floor is heated to 25 degrees. Let me just touch it. See, it says on schedule. Okay, it gives a little bit of a different set of information now. The set temperature is 25. The actual temperature, oh, did you hear that click just now? That was the heating element shutting off. And I see the little waves disappeared there. Let's keep it bright. So it's set to 25, it's at 25. It's following a schedule. The next change will come at 7 o'clock at night. It'll change to 27. It's going to go up a couple degrees in the evening. We're more likely to be in here having a shower in the evening or early in the morning, not during the day. It's the weekend right now. It's Saturday, as you can see. So in Ontario, where I live, electricity rates change with the day of the week and the time of the day. It's quite simple. They change at 7 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock at night. And during the day, electricity rates here are about 16 cents for a kilowatt hour. And at night, they're about 8. Maybe a little more than that, actually. somewhere in that range. So using electricity in the evening after 7 o'clock is a good idea. Well, I mean, you know what I mean? It's a better idea than using it during the day. So I've kind of set the schedule here to sort of use heat after 7 o'clock. You know, this floor is built right on concrete, and even though there is some kind of thermal break underneath it, you might remember some orange material in earlier videos that showed this, there's still going to be heat traveling down into the concrete floor. Who wants that? That means there's a lot here to heat up. Not only this whole floor, but a little bit of the concrete underneath. So you know, it's about 350 watts of heat across the floor. It's really not very much. So it's actually struggling to get the temperature much above 25. 25 is comfortable though. 27 is just a little more comfortable. So here's a cool thing though. Here's some of the settings. Push that guy. Heating schedule, energy use, and a couple of occasional settings that need to be changed, like installer settings. You do that once and the like. So we look at the heating schedule quickly. It looks like that. I won't bother explaining all this, but you know, you can imagine how all this works. But what I will show you is this energy use. So when you're setting this up, you tell it how many watts of heat you have in your floor. I mentioned mine, I think is around 350, so I've set this to 400 because I can only set it to 300, 400, 500. So I've told it, and let's get this, keep this bright. I've told it that I've got 400 watts of heating power in the floor. Push energy use, you get a chart like that. That's looking back 48 hours. Right now it's just out here, of course. So this thing is shuffling along as time goes by. And you can look at how many minutes per hour you, how many minutes per hour your heating element is on. So here, these lines, it's actually on 100%. So it's like 3 hours of non-stop 350 watt heating going on. And here it's somewhat less. So I'm just learning how to set this efficiently. I don't want this thing unnecessarily consuming power. It's not a big deal, you know. It's like about $15 a month, something like that. But and then we just go like this. Okay, so now it's, come on camera, you can do it. There we go. So it's looking at it more from a day point of view. That's a month per month, so you can kind of check how your energy consumption is. Don't you wish every appliance had this? And here's the settings. I'm sorry, these aren't the settings. This is the actual calculation. Remember I mentioned 400 watts. I put in 10 cents per kilowatt hour, which is not correct. It's either 8 or 16, but I put in 10. 10 and 400 is easy for me to keep track of in my head, so I know what I'm doing here. So you can see the cost in the last 24 hours is 56 cents according to those calculations. It just gives you an idea of what you're spending heating your floor. I think it's super cool. Computer operated floor heat. There we are. So that's my washroom done. So this will be the last video I shoot in here. Where'd my focus go? What's going on here? Something funny happened to the focus. I have no idea what's going on. There's something funny on my screen. Anyway, okay, we'll leave it in the blurry conclusion to my video. So thanks so much for watching my work as it's not me, by the way. I've hired a contractor to do this. This is not my work. Don't be fooled. You know, what I did was I did all the electrical work, I did all the painting, I did all the demolition myself. But the rest of it, everything you see has been done by a professional contractor, a father-son team. There we go. Sorry about the focus, and we'll see you back in my shop with something electronic to work on. Bye.